Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to take a few minutes of your time to go over the books and the activities that I have chosen to put on the literacy cart for PALS. And when I say PALS, I just want to clarify that I am imagining that this cart will be used with kids that are approximately 7 and 8 years old. I have a different cart for mini PALS for the 5 and 6 year olds that really focuses on letter recognition for the emerging reader. But with this cart, this one is by far and away the fullest cart that I have, and there's a reason for that. These 7 and 8 year olds are at a really critical time where they are learning how to read. So they're not emerging readers anymore. They're considered novice readers or decoders. And so a lot of the activities you're going to see on this card, I'm going to show you not every single one of them, but I'm going to give you definitely a little highlight here of most of them. You'll see some themes in there. But let's get started with the books. So I just wanted to show you a couple of the titles here. I got Kina Ford and the Field Trip Mix-Up. This Makes Me Jealous. Another one here, Talking Walls, Discover Your World. Destiny's Gift. Hair Love. Sunday Shopping. Here's another one, Lend a Hand. I won't go through all of them. You will see that there's lots of National Geographic books there. A lot of kids are really into nonfiction, and so they'll enjoy those. But one thing I wanted you to notice with these books that I just showed you are that the characters hopefully look like the kids that we serve. And that was intentional, Everybody wants to pick up a book and see themselves on the cover. So the other thing I did when choosing books is I thought I tried to choose books that had a social emotional development theme to them. So that makes it real easy after you get done reading a book aloud to be able to talk to them about it and connect it to their life. So there is not an exhaustive list of books. Like, you could choose any books you want to put on this cart, and you could by all means add to it. There could be plenty of space because I'm going to talk to you about how we can take some of the stuff off of this cart to keep the cart fresh. So, let's go ahead and get started here on some of the items that are on the cart. So there's going to be a little box with some magnetic letters and numbers, and I'll just show you an example here of something fun that you could do with those letters and numbers. You could have each kid make their name, and they could decorate this cart, and you could leave them on there. Or, you could put some high frequency words. On these boxes, you can see there's 100 sight words. So those are great words that they could be making out of these magnets and put on there. So I'm going to set that off to the side. Next up, why don't I go ahead and show you this pop. I have two different pop games here. This one's Pop for Blends, and that's what I'm going to use for demonstration. But we also have another one here, Pop for Word Families. So the way that the pop game works is you take off the lid, and this one has a spinner. You're going to take out your spinner, and you're going to reach in, and you're going to pick out a blend. So a blend is two letters put together, two consonants generally. And then you're going to spin the spinner, and I landed on 3. Unlucky me. I have to now come up with 3 words that start with this blend. So I might say flower, flag, and flat. And if I say them all correct, I get to keep this piece of popcorn. Now, when you reach in, it is good to know that somewhere in here, I don't know if I'm going to find one. Oh, here's one. If you get one that says pop, what you have to do is take all of your pieces of popcorn and put them back into the container. So that's the game Pop. That's how it works, and it's getting kids familiar with all sorts of blends. Something I want to share is that if you find a game or an activity on this cart and you go, oh my goodness, this is just too challenging for the students, they're getting frustrated, feel free to tuck it away until they're ready for it, or maybe pass it on to the kids in the room that are a little bit older, right next door to you. Same thing, if you find something that's too simple, maybe there's a phonics thing on here and it's just really too basic, feel free to pass that down. The next thing I'm going to show you, these are called Can Do Reading Game. And these are very, very, very similar to Pop. So the Pop games I purchased on Amazon, almost everything else on this cart came from the company Lakeshore Learning. Now, something great about Lakeshore is that generally the directions are right on the container. Okay, there's a reason for that. What happens when we open it up and there's a sheet of instructions and the first time we play the game, we lose it? It's always right here in the canister. So I've already opened up this can, which is why it's empty, and I took off the cover. Oh, look, that's the spinner is the cover. So you can't, well, not that you can't, but it's going to be harder to lose it because it's part of the cover. And inside, you're going to find 3 decks of cards, and they match the words on the spinner. So using sight words, matching sight words, and building sight words. So in this game, you just simply spin the spinner, and that's on the line, so spin again. I landed on using sight words. So I go to the using sight words, and I flip it over, and it says, Bob wants to blank a toy train. Does Bob want to get a toy train? Bob wants to in a toy train, or Bob wants to go a toy train? Well, the correct answer is get. And the person next to me is going to check my answer. And so up in the corner, you see the number 18. There is one little answer card to be used with this game, and this was using sight words. So here's using sight words, number 18. The correct answer is get. So the person next to me says, yep, you got it correct. So then I get to keep this card, and that's sort of like, well, I get to keep the card. I'm sorry, I totally forgot. There are tokens, but you wouldn't really need to use the tokens. You could just keep the card, and that could be a way to keep track of your points. But this game does come with tokens, and so you get to have a token. Actually, these have different token values. So this one says you get 1 token. I just want to show you that in here, let me go to a different pile. There are some fun things like lose 2 tokens. There's things like skip a turn, things of that nature. But this one little answer card has all of the answers for all 3 of the piles. And so you'd want to make sure you stack up those 3 decks of cards. They go back in the bin. All your tokens would go back into the bag. You would put your bag back in, put your cover on, and there's your game. So this one is sight words, and I want to point out that there are several more. There's a phonics one, phonemic awareness, language skills, and I believe there's 4 more that just haven't arrived yet that are part of this set. But what I'm going to point out is if you look at the phonics one and the first time you play it, you find that it was way too easy and the kids got bored, please take the phonics can and go give it to the mini pals, okay? The next game I want to show you is Splash. This came as a set. There's 5 different ones. So we have vowel sounds right here, vowel sounds. We have blends and digraphs, 2-syllable words. Here's a sight word. And then this one is CVC words that I'm going to demonstrate. So CVC stands for consonant, vowel, consonant. And again, look where the directions are. Right on the box. I love that. I sound like an infomercial, like I'm trying to sell you on this. This one works just very much like popcorn. So you reach in, you pull it out, and you read it. Hat. If you read it correctly, you get to keep it. If not, you put it back in, and you continue to pick. And please know that in here are some that say splash, and if you get a splash one, you take all of your tokens and you put it back in. So, what's great is that because you have so much variety, you could have, 2 kids playing this game, you could have 2 kids playing this one, you could have some kids playing the can. You definitely have a variety, and I'm only on the first shelf. Okay? I'm going to move down to the second shelf. We have sight word bingo. Who doesn't love bingo, right? There are 3 levels. Level 1, level 2, and level 3, and the words are progressively going to get more difficult. I have what's called Jenga, but here at Lakeshore Learning, they call it Tower of Sight Words. And you can just see, you build the Jenga, you pull it out. When you pull it out, you have to read the word correctly. So if you pull it out and the word is, witch, but you can't read it, you don't know it, you discard it, you just throw it in a pile. But if you do say the word correctly, you get to keep it. So we have that. We have several of these tubs that I'm going to show you. There's actually 4 of them in total, and the way that these work here, of course, with Lakeshore Learning, there's always a set of instructions, and it's gonna give you some ideas. Not only is it gonna tell you the way that the game is designed. I apologize for the camera angle on this. I need another hand. Not only is it always going to tell you how to play, how to use the dice, but it's always going to give you like extension activities. Sometimes they name it, here's extend the learning, how many words, and so there's just, lots of ways to use these dice. You might not think about it. So this particular set is prefixes and suffixes, so you might want to like roll one of these and roll one of these and then put the words together. Does it make a word? Build-er. Yes, it makes a word. What about if I rolled build less? Is that a word? No, it's not. Okay. Builds. Is builds a word? Yes. So each one of these canisters is slightly different, and these are foam, and so they'll be easy to wash and keep clean, which I think is great. Let me just set that off to the side. There are some more foam letters in here. These are word families, and it's same idea as some of these other ones. Here's CVC words. You roll and you try to make a word. The orange are all the vowels, and the bluish teal color there are consonants. Let me show you Launch and Learn. Launch and Learn, this one's for rhyming sounds, and there's 2 of these on the Mini Pals cart, and just this one on this cart. But open it up, and inside you're going to find your directions again from Lakeshore Learning. But then this will also be in there, which I already all you do is put this piece on here, and you load in one of the colors of these wooden tiles, if you will, and there's pictures on each one. Now there's a purple set and an orange set, so there's actually like 2 games in here. So we're gonna play the orange set, and each kid that's playing would get one of these circles, and they're gonna take turns, and they're gonna launch it, and they're gonna wanna hit this oops, sorry. I must have jammed it. That's not good when I moved it. So when they press the button, a tile comes shooting out. So I'm going to just get these out of the way here. So if they shoot out the word ball, they're looking to see, can they rhyme that with anything here? And I don't see, ball, doll and ball. Nope. So that doesn't work. So try another one, train. And you're trying to rhyme, train. I don't see anything on that one. Chip and clip. Okay, so obviously I just took 3 turns there. The kids wouldn't get 3 turns, but they're trying to rhyme with the picture with what's on their card. So just kind of fun because they get to, launch these things and they'll get a kick out of that. You would want to, I think when we talk about sanitizing, it's really difficult with a literacy cart because we have books. So what I would highly recommend is before the kids are going to use the literacy cart, they would go to the bathroom and wash their hands, the whole group, and then we use the literacy cart, and when we're done, we wash our hands again. So just a suggestion there. That was Launch and Learn. Let's come down here. I think I have 2 more things to show you, so bear with me. I'll show you this match and sort. We have 4 different boxes, I believe. There's vocabulary, language skills, and early reading comprehension. So the one I'm going to demo is phonics. We open it up, And you want to always, demo it with the kids, explain it to them, but then a lot of these games are designed to be done independently. So we are going to do the phonics one today, and this one says word patterns. And so we go ahead and we open it up, and the directions on this are right here. So in this box, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different games. So when I open it up, it says choose a white card. So here's a white card. It's clock. Now I have to find the yellow card that has a picture for a word with the same ending sound. So clock and sock. So those two, I would say those two go together. Here's spoon and moon. These are, brand new, so they're in the perfect order. I'm not even having to look very hard. And then you'd pass this out, and one kid could be doing this one, somebody else could be doing, the consonant ones, and then when they raise their hand or they say, okay, I'm finished, you come around with your answer cards, and, here they are. So this yellow one goes with the yellow set. These in here is all of the answer cards, and they're all color-coded, but you can see the sock. Sock went with the clock. You get an idea there of how that one works. The cards are always in Lakeshore Learning. Everything is color-coded for for ease of putting things away. So we put that back in there and move that one off to the side. And the last thing I want to show you are folder games. So there are 4 different ones. These are this first one is language skills, so I'm going to demo that. There is a vocabulary, phonics and word recognition, and there's phonological awareness. Again, this one might be better for the Mini Pals cart, but maybe not. It depends upon the students that you have in your room and what level they're at. So I think once you start to use these materials, you will get a sense of where they are and what they're able to do. So in each folder, there are 10 different folder games. They're all self-correcting. You pull it out, you pass these out, every kid gets one. And I've already gone ahead and sorted. Every little envelope is the matching color, so this says beehives. I've already taken the liberty of, there was a little envelope that had all of these pieces in it, and on the other side, they are all labeled beehive. So I know beehives, it goes with beehives, goes with beehives. So on this one, the idea is I'm working on singular and plural, and so it tells me set out your tiles so that the purple side is up, and then put them where you think. Do they need to end in ES or S to make them plural? So I would go through purple side up and box, and I think box has an ES. Oops, frog I think just gets an S. You can see how cute and colorful, and all of this stuff is like laminated so it can be wiped down. Fox I think goes up here, and I won't do them all to bore you, but when I'm all done, I flip it over and it shows me ES. So I know I got that right. ES. I know I got it right. Frogs with an S. Okay, so that is just a little bit about what you will find on your cart. You absolutely do not have to put all of this on the cart at once. You could only put, you could just put one of the splash games and one of the popcorn and one of the cans and keep the rest, in a cabinet, and then every couple of weeks switch them out so that there's always fresh, exciting, new stuff on the cart, because we want kids to want to love learning. This is fun stuff that hopefully keeps them engaged this summer. And let me know if you have any questions at all. My name is Jennifer Raymond. You can email me, you can call me, and I would be happy to answer any of your questions. Thanks so much for watching.